So here's another good place to park on the weekend when you want to walk in the historic area. When school is in session, you can't park on the street here because they reserve it for the school buses. This is Scotland Street at the bottom of Nassau. Matthew Whaley School is my alma mater. And just on the other side of this clump of trees is a nice little path that will take us up to the Governor's Palace. Here's the start of the path. We are behind the Robert Carter house. Very pretty. There's a view of his lordship's canal, or the Governor's Palace Pond as most people call it. And up ahead will be the palace. And nice view of a retaining pond. Sometimes they'll put sheep in this pasture. Not today though. At the top of the path is the Governor's Palace, and I'm going to head halfway down Palace Green and cut over to Nicholson Street. My destination is the Brickyard. Today and tomorrow they are firing the brick kiln. They only do that once or twice a year as needed to make bricks for the coming year's projects. After all these years, I still get a kick out of seeing little girls in mob caps and little boys in tricorn hats. What fun. And now here's the convenient path across Palace Green that will connect me with Nicholson Street. Looks like business as usual behind the Getty House. I have fond memories of telling stories there as an evening performer about 10 years ago, I guess now. It can be a spooky place. Ask me sometime. And behind the courthouse on Market Square is this awesome climbing tree. Easy to get up into it, as this young lady is demonstrating right now. Okay, so I came down to the historic area today with the express purpose of showing you the brick kiln firing. But everywhere I walk, I have a memory. One of the benefits of being a lifelong resident. This is the St. George Tucker House, and if you make a donation to the Colonial Williamsburg Foundation, when you come to town, you can use this as a little resting spot. It's beautiful inside with reproductions of colonial antiques. And if you go in there, I hope you will admire one of my hand-painted reproduction maps of Virginia. The Fry Jefferson map. It used to be one of my specialties when I was a starving assistant curator, and I would make extra money on the side coloring those, and one hangs over the fireplace in the main room of the St. George Tucker House. And if you're just out for a walk, especially if you have kids with you, you'll want to go back through this boxwood garden. All the way at the end of this walkway is a raised platform or mount with a couple of benches, and it's a nice little retreat. And these boxwoods are so old that there's lots of places within them for a good game of hide and seek. There's another sight I never tire of. Seeing people in the stocks and pillories. They all gotta try it. Not very becoming from this side. Just to keep you oriented, we're on Nicholson Street now. There's the Peyton Randolph house. And up ahead will be the path down to the Brickyard. And it looks like we have some finished bricks drying. Wow, this is really an impressive operation. Let's see what they're up to.
How you do it, because brickyards are mobile. We don't make bricks and ship them all over the place. We make the bricks where you want them, so we don't have to move anything. Because the last thing a brick maker wants to do is move a brick. Or maybe, okay, one brick's fine, but 50,000, now we've got a different question. So you make the brick on site, and that way you can do everything, you don't have to move it. But it also means you don't have previously fired bricks in most cases. Now without the casing, the big difference will be, first, right off the top, you're probably not going to be able to sell 10 to 15% of those bricks. They're so under fire, they're not really any better than clay. So you've got 15% that you just write off as loss. That meant if your customer wanted 100,000, you had to make 115,000 just to cover that. The other difference is without the casing, you have to burn more wood to sustain that heat that you need to fire it. So with the casing in this kiln, we'll burn about 2 cords of wood per tunnel from start to finish. That's what we'll end up burning. Without the casing, you're burning about 3 cords of wood per tunnel. That's a big difference. You're burning 80,000, 90,000, 100,000 brick. You've got 30 to 40 fire tunnels. That's a big difference. 80 to 120 cords of wood have to be cut.
How long would this burn?
It usually takes about 4 or 5 days. So this started on Wednesday morning. It'll be going through tomorrow night.
So then all the bricks that you built the casing out of, they're now going to be like over fire.
No.
Wow, I'm a good 20 feet away from the kiln. I'm wearing a t-shirt and blue jeans, and the heat is uncomfortable from here. I mean, this is a cool day. It's probably only about 72 degrees right now, but if I get any closer to this, I'm going to start sweating. I cannot imagine being the kiln tender.
So the next crew comes in at 6. Let them dry out here until you can pick them up.
Okay.
Because if they get to a point where they're really getting bone dry, they're actually starting to shrink because they've lost so much water. So then if they get rained on, they absorb the water, then they just start falling apart.
Okay.
So usually just a couple of days out here, and then into the shed where you stack them and store them. Keep them dry. They're still drying for at least another month.
Okay.
Within a month, the brick would be considered dry enough to fire.
Okay. So is the clay just homogeneous enough that it's not going to crack as it dries?
No, I mean, if you look down the road, you'll see blank spaces where there used to be a brick.
Okay, so it does.
I mean, every day you're losing 20, 30 brick or so.
Okay.
Just crack. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't want to make my old friend Jason Whitehead self-conscious with a camera stuck in his face because he was doing such an excellent job of interpreting, but I did ask him what these bricks are for in this current firing, and they're going to be used on the James Anderson blacksmith shop. So this really is a year-round trade. They'll make the bricks once or twice a year as needed when the weather is okay, and then they are building with the bricks through the winter months.
Oh, hot.
Right now?
Yeah.
600 billion degrees. That's an approximation.
How many gigawatts? Sorry, just saw Back to the Future again. Look at that
They're going to
cake.
do the exact same thing on the other
Look at the
side.
smoke coming out.
The reason why they put the wood on the front is since that's where the fires get the air. It's right by the doors. And they wouldn't burn as well.
You get that smoke coming out there?
Yeah, eventually we will get it up to 2,000 degrees and we can judge that by the glow inside.
That's amazing.
I see the cracks in the mud. Does that ever crack?
That's going to happen.
Yes. That's on fire.
I
know it.
Crazy.
It's crazy enough.
Oh, it's very hot. Grace. When he's saying Cinco.
They only put 4 in last night.
Ashton was doing it earlier and I was doing it earlier and we were doing it.
Seeing the smoke coming out of it?
Major smoke.
Now it's my hand and I can probably get the thing.
Oh, we're starting to light them.
They'll come down this way. Come on. Let me take down a picture.
Oh my God.
It's early Monday morning.
So you get up. So you get a movie on
The
there.
sides of
I've gotten 3 movies.